The Middle of the Pack Podcast. Welcome to episode 47 of the Middle of the Pack Podcast. Our regular shoe contributor Ian O'Brien is our guest this week again, and we have lots to get through, lots of questions to answer from all you listeners that sent in questions. But just to get things on the road, we started by asking Ian what he had been doing since the last time he was on. Welcome to episode 47 of the Middle of the Pack Podcast with Ian O'Brien.
Okay, so I think that was back in March, and I was gearing up to do the Paris Marathon with my wife Siobhan, which we did. Massive experience. It was my first marathon, Siobhan's first and only marathon, she says, but unbelievable. Like it's major marathon status. It's not one of the world majors, but like there's 55,000 people finished it, so it has that big city, big marathon atmosphere. Absolutely unreal all the way around. It was like the crowds were at the Tour de France at one stage, when you're going up the Alpe d'Huez and they're 10 deep each side, just shouting at you. It was unbelievable. And like I had my name on the bib, so obviously it said Ian, and they were, Allez Ian, go, go. And then Siobhan would be next to me, and it was obviously Siobhan, the Irish spelling, and they would go, allez, allez, allez. They hadn't a clue how to pronounce Siobhan, but just really uplifting, fantastic atmosphere, really well organised, for that amount of people. I'd highly recommend it. Obviously Cork is gone ballot now, Dublin is ballot, London, 1.3 million people applied, so it's very hard to get into these big city marathons, but Paris you can actually just still enter. It's open, I think, for a couple of months, and then once it's out, it closes down, but it isn't a ballot, and I highly recommend it if you wanted a big city marathon. So,
and is it
yeah, it's amazing.
When you say 55,000, how many people are running it?
Yeah, 55,000. So there's no half marathon, there's no 10K, there's no fun run. It's just a pure marathon on the day. And I think it's the third biggest marathon in the world after London and New York. So and the fact that it's an hour away on the plane, very accessible, and just, super, super atmosphere. And this is really well organised, an Asics t-shirt, great support, plenty of water. Like you're running past the Eiffel Tower, the Champs-Élysées, Notre Dame, like just the sights alone are worth doing it for. But there was that controversy about the water. There was no bottles. It was, they gave you a little rubber kind of folding cup that you carry with you. Now I brought my own bottles anyhow, and you just stop at kind of water stations and you top it up. So I can see how it would be a problem for some people, if you're chasing in time. I think anybody under 2 hours 50 got a bottle or a water station. Anything over 2 hours 50, you were on your own. But look, it didn't bother us. We weren't aiming for a time at all, so it was quite easy to do. So that was the big one for me in April.
And when you said Siobhan said that was one and done, are you in the one and done camp, or are you? No.
One and keep going. I still have obviously the medical concerns with my heart, so I've an appointment next month with the cardiologist to keep on top of that. But I've applied for Seville in February of next year, and obviously my name is in the hat like the other 1.3 million people for London. So if I got London, I'd probably have to do it, and be rude not to. And yeah, I'll aim for Seville in February. So, but I won't be racing it. I won't be going for a fast time or anything like that. I'll just go and enjoy it and enjoy the whole marathon experience while I still can.
Yeah, there's a lot to be said, isn't there, for just soaking up the atmosphere and enjoying it? Because like if I or you were racing Paris, you probably wouldn't have seen half of the stuff that you actually got to see, I mean, Van, my wife, is very good at going, did you see, and I never see anything like it, when I'm racing it, I'm looking at shoes.
Yeah, I think, and look, I suppose because Paris is such, like, it's an iconic city, like every kilometre you go, there's something to look at. So look, I wanted to make sure I enjoyed it. I had the phone with me. I wouldn't normally take the phone out or film during a race, but for this I did, because again, I was at a very comfortable pace for me, because I was pacing Siobhan, and I was in charge of water, and I was in charge of gels, and I had the speed dust, and I did all the water, and Siobhan kept going. So I was able to kind of look around and take it in. And like when you go into the tunnels, like it's not like the Jack Lynch tunnel in Cork. They have DJs and bands and lighting and everything, so you don't even realise you're in the tunnel. But it's just the atmosphere, and as I say, you go around the corner and there's the Eiffel Tower. So it's just I think it's good every so often, maybe just if that applies to a 5K or a 10K, whatever we're doing, half marathons, you don't have to race every single one because, look, a lot of us race quite a lot. I mean, I meet you at races, Padraig, and
Yeah.
like, you can't PB every week. I met a lad in Dunmanway at the weekend and he was very disappointed because he didn't get a PB, but like, it's a tough course. It was hot. It was hilly. So just, go and enjoy the atmosphere. So yeah, that was the way we treated Paris. It was just a day out and we just happened to be running while we were sightseeing. Yeah, so look, that was my marathon experience. So definitely up for it again, and health allowing. I didn't make Cork this year. I think I've done Cork in some form or other between the relay, the 10. No, I never did the 10, the half marathon, probably every year for the last 10 years. And this is the first year I missed it. We were away, but I did find one. We were in Italy. I found one about an hour and a half away on the train for where I was staying, called Lake Iseo half marathon. So I did that again. Just enjoyed it. Again, it was stunning scenery. It was just along a lakeside, just in the middle of the mountains and the lakes, and I just jogged that, went off on my own for the day. So that was my version of Cork 2 days later. And again, really enjoyable. I did it in 2 hours, so it wouldn't have been anywhere near a PB, but just went out and looked at the scenery again. And there was sponges every couple of kilometres, plenty of water. There was cakes, bananas, biscuits, bands, just a mad little race. Actually, there was, I think, about 1,500 people at it. So nobody probably ever even heard of it. But again, just a mad little fun half marathon to do. That's kind of all I've been doing the last 3 months. I kind of I didn't take a break from running, but I took a break from kind of hard training, as you should probably after a half marathon. The coach just told me just go off and take a few weeks and just enjoy jogging. Don't kill yourself. So I did. I went on holidays and just kind of jogged or ran most days and took it easy. So yeah, kind of lost my mojo a little bit. I thought it was just a bit flat. Maybe I was building up so much to do in Paris that I found not much to look forward to now. So yeah, I'm back now. I did the Dunmanway 10K, as I said, on Sunday and really enjoyed it.
Did you lose your mojo because you didn't get that many shoes? Is that you hadn't buy any new shoes, or did you?
Well, I sold a lot of shoes because I've discovered Vinted. You've probably heard of it. It's actually my daughter Ella had been using it for buying and selling clothes. If they have a big night out, she'll buy a dress and sell it the following week and costs her nothing. And then Aideen Murphy said it to me, or Aideen Coleman, that she had sold a pair on Vinted. And I said, geez, I forget how many I told you I had the last time. I think it was 32 or something, but I'm way down now. I'm only in the low 20s, I think, because I sold them all on Vinted. Like, it's so simple. They're kind of ones where I had, but I mightn't have worn them for 2, 3, 4, 6 months. So I said, look, I have them sitting in my wardrobe. So you can get, depending on the condition, if they're new, you can sell them brand new without tags, very good condition, or okay condition. So they have a little label for everything. And it's so simple. You just take a few pictures, put in your details, and basically just people be it on the shoes, you can choose to accept or not accept. So I think I've sold 12 pairs and bought 5. So I used to work on a 1 in, 1 out kind of system for shoes, whereas now I think I'm at 2 out, 1 in. But the ones I sold were probably older secondhand, and the ones I bought were brand new.
And when did you start the 1 in, 1 out? Because if you accumulate up to 40 shoes, it must be difficult to. Is that when you started?
Yeah. Well, I suppose I wasn't that strict on the 1 in, 1 out either, but we pretend we were.
Yeah.
But no, I think, look, it's certainly, it's cleared out my wardrobe space for holding the shoes anyhow. So, and actually most of the ones I bought were probably ones I already had and liked. But say the Saucony Elite 2s are about 300 quid new.
Yeah.
I think I got them for about 100 on Vinted, and they're literally brand new. I'd say they might have been worn once for 2 kilometers. They didn't like them, and they sold them on. They came in the box, so basically you're getting a brand new shoe for a third of the price. So that's kind of been my, and even the app, like it's almost like it's not quite gambling, but like you're selling money, you're selling shoes, and you're getting bids, and you're deciding, oh, do I take that bid or do I wait for another fiver? And it's highly entertaining.
And I know Yvonne said that she has been getting really good bargains. So like the Evo SLs, the Adidas Evo SLs, she's been picking up brand new pairs for 60 euros. And they're 150 normally. Now, I haven't been so lucky in my size. They tend to be about 120, and I know you can get them in some of the shops discounted at that. But she's picked up a carbon-plated Mizuno's. She's got some Sauconys. and she's got about 4 or 5 pairs since we spoke
Mm,
last. So she
yeah.
nearly has more than me, which gives me a license then to get some more shoes.
Yeah, and that's only right. I mean, you should have an equal amount of shoes.
Yeah,
Uh, but like it's, I wouldn't personally, I wouldn't be a man about wearing secondhand shoes. Some people it doesn't bother them at all, and you can see from the photos what kind of condition they're in. So that I got a pair of New Balance SC Elite Fives, which are a brand new shoe, current model. They're 250 in the shops, and I got them for 85. I haven't worn them yet. I'm kind of saving them because I have the previous version, the fours, which I loved. So like, there's definitely bargains to be got. So look, I'm not saying don't go to your local, you know, shoe store. Certainly, if you're starting off again, if you want to make sure that you have the right shoe that suits you for your training and your racing and so on. But if you have a fair idea what shoes you like, this is a great way to pick up kind of another version of them. So generally, the ones I bought have been ones I've had already and really liked.
yeah. I think that's the important thing, isn't it? Like, I know how Adidas fits me, so it's okay
Mm.
for me really to go for an Adidas shoe. But like I'm in the I think the last time we spoke, I thought I had bought an Hyperboost Edge, and this time I'm very close to getting a Puma Deviate, and I haven't worn Puma before, so you have to kind of try them on, don't you? Really,
Yeah, I haven't either. No, having said that, I bought a pair in Vinted last week, and they're due next week. The new
faster.
Puma DV8 Pure Nitro.
That's
They're the kind
exactly
of
the ones that I'm going
is it?
for.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're about 150 quid. I think I got it for 100, and it's brand new again. It's due. I'll have it by next week, I'd say. So let's see.
Like I had seen them because I think they're all over social media at the moment as
Yeah.
being the next best Adidas Evo SL. So
Mm, yeah. Yeah, and I couldn't get them locally. So again, I went on Vinted. So again, I'm not an ambassador for Vinted or anything. I think they're based in Lithuania or somewhere. But it's basically you're just selling shoes to generally Irish people and French people. There's no UK market for Vinted for some reason. They're not in it, but it's very easily done. So yeah, that's my current little plaything.
and and is there a way of knowing that they're not like rip-offs or
You need to know what you're looking for. There seems to be an awful lot of Asics Metaspeed Sky and Edge on them for €80.
hmm
They look as if they're brand new. To me, it looks like a scam because there's an awful lot of them, and there's no way you get a pair of them for 80 quid.
yeah,
It seems to be, if you are looking at it, you can see how many reviews and sales the seller has done. If they have no reviews and no sales and they're selling these for 80 quid in France, don't buy them.
yeah,
Um, Other than that, you can get a fair sense of it. Again, just having a bit of trial and error, having buying and selling a couple of them, you'll get to know what's real and what's not. Generally by the reviews, because every sale generates a review. So if they have no reviews or no stars, I wouldn't buy off them.
yeah. I suppose it's like a shop. If they've
Yeah.
just popped up, you wouldn't be trusting that much either. So your new shoes have been what? Which ones then?
So I've those Puma Pures on the way. I also then bought another pair of Asics Mega Blast on Vinted, another pair of the Saucony Elite 2. I bought another pair of the Saucony Pro 4. I bought something else as well, I can't remember. But I think they're the only new. I bought the New Balance Ellipse, which again are kind of an everyday version, a bit like the Evo SL. Wasn't mad about them, found them a bit clunky, so I actually sold them at the weekend on Vinted, and I'd replaced them now with the new Puma. There's a new Saucony Elite 3 out, I think, this week, actually. I love the two. I wore the two at the weekend, and I've worn it in a good few of my races. I wore it actually in Dungarvan, where I PB'd this year. I love it. It's a €300 carbon plate, really bouncy. So I bought a second one, but the version 3 is out now, so I don't know if I'll wait a while. I think there's also a new Nova Blast 6, hugely popular shoe. I think a lot of people love the Nova Blast 4 and 5s in particular. So
Yeah,
that's out, I think, around now as well. So I think that's getting very good reviews, and again, very accessible shoe, probably about 160-ish quid. But again, just an easy, everyday kind of light shoe. So I think that'll be very popular. So I might give that a try sometime. Other than that, I've been kind of wearing tried and trusted ones, just newer versions of them.
yeah. We have some questions that we will go through because I think, yeah, they're probably covering even what you're talking about. But I did, like I said, I got the Hyperboost Edge not by accident, but I thought I was buying them by accident. But like I've loved them since they've come out, since I got them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
they were essentially kind of a long run, but it's interesting for me because I'd seen an awful lot of TikToks and Instagrams, people saying they're not suitable for heel strikers, and I am a heel striker,
Mm.
and they hadn't arrived yet, and I was going, oh sugar, have I just wasted €200 on a shoe? But I find them fantastic, like brilliant to wear, and they're great for a long run, and they're great for even like a little bit of session work. But yeah, yeah. So it's hard sometimes when you get people reviewing shoes and giving them negative feedback for certain things because once you have to try them yourself, don't you?
You do, and those ones you can actually buy in the shop, really. So you can't. They were only available online, so you can't try them on or talk
Yeah,
to anybody else who's had them. So it's, yeah, I think that's the thing. Again, same with like the Puma Pure. If people haven't tried it, you're almost a guinea pig for it, and it's up to you then whether you like it or not. But it's, yeah, I suppose it is nice to be able to try on a shoe and run around the shop in it and stuff. But you're taking a bit of a risk buying a €200 shoe if you've never tried it before. But look, obviously the risk worked for you. So
yeah, yeah. It worked for me. It's interesting
yeah.
because maybe one of we asked some listeners or social media followers to send in some questions. And one of the first questions was, what shoe doesn't get enough attention? But I was kind of thinking more, are they asking if it's more publicity or praise or doesn't get enough? And I was kind of going, well, for me, I haven't really heard an awful about the Hyperboost Edge, but did you have any thoughts on that particular question?
Couple, I suppose, like there's
Unsung
obviously
heroes?
shoes. Yeah, like there's a few. Like I've never worn Hoka. I haven't worn Mizuno. So there's some just brands I haven't tried. I think Mizuno in particular, you mentioned them earlier with Event,
Yeah.
they do seem to be getting very good reviews. So I think they are kind of up in their game. Similarly with the Kip Run shoes from Decathlon seem to be getting highly rated as well. I haven't tried them again because I suppose you're limited as to where you can buy them. There was one or two jumped out at me, and like, as you said, when you're at a race, you're always looking down at the start of the
Yeah.
race to see what people are wearing, as opposed to looking up and seeing who you're actually standing next to. But you look at the shoes, and I suppose, obviously, the further up the start line you go, they're probably all in Puma Fast R's these days, or the Meta Speeds. Kind of a third of the way down where I tend to stand, you are seeing a good selection now. Like I think most people at this stage would have some form of super shoe or a plated shoe, even if it's a nylon plate. The couple that I really love, and I'd put them in my top 5 rotation at the moment, were the Mega Blast, Asics Mega Blast, and nobody's wearing them. I've only seen, I'd say, a handful of people wearing them in the last couple of months. And for me, like, I think they're the best shoe out there. I think I know 2 people who have them, but
And
they're expensive. They're 200 quid, but
Sean, when he was on, was talking about an Asics. Was he talking about the Super Blast?
that was the Super Blast. The Mega Blast is it wouldn't be as chunky as the Super Blast. No, the Super Blast 3 are fabulous as well. I have them. I love them. For me, the Mega Blast does everything. I wore it in Paris for the marathon. I wore it in Italy for the half marathon. I brought it on holidays. We were away for 2 weeks. I brought one pair of shoes, and it was the Mega Blast. So I was able to do a race in it. My recovery runs, I did a track session on it in Italy, and I even use it for walking. So for me, for that amount of flexibility, it does everything. Yet nobody really has it much. So for me, it'd probably be that one.
So that covers that question. Someone sent in, can one shoe do everything? Which one would that fit into that for you?
Yeah, the Asics Mega Blast, without a doubt, for me. As I say, it did everything. I did a half marathon, recovery runs, track sessions, walking. I ran on cobbles on it. I ran up hills. I ran gravel, and I think I have about nearly 300 miles on it now, and it's still perfect. So for 200 quid for me, it's certainly underrated.
Well, for me, for that one, it would be the Adidas Evo SL. I know you didn't like the fit of them, but for me, like you, the one, I suppose it is, which one would you take on holidays knowing you're going to do a few runs? And I took the Evo SLs and I did everything from easy runs to a session to a longer run. And yeah, I think the same thing. They're just like running on air. They're brilliant, but they do have a kind of a race feel about them if you want to up the speed a little, you know?
They do, and I think they probably changed a lot of the shoe market in the last year, because I had a pair, as I said, they just cut my toes. I had to sell them, and I even bought another version of them with the kind of waterproof version. And again, I couldn't wear them either, so I sold them too. But I could definitely see how people love them. They're light, they're cheap, they're bouncy, And again, like the Saucony Azura for me would be something similar. And I think Adidas started it with the Evo SL, and I think all of the other companies are now following suit. So we're starting to see kind of a €150 shoe for pretty much it. Like you can race in them, you can train in them, you can do easy runs, you can do sessions, you can do a track in them. But yeah, for 150 quid, whereas previously you were probably paying 200, 220 for kind of the nylon trainer type of shoe.
Yeah. And they're basically just using the race foam, aren't they?
Yeah,
Without the carbon
it's the
plate.
same. Yeah, bouncy foam, no plate. But I think the foam is the king. It is really important to get the good foam on it, and they do. So yeah, I think they're groundbreaking, those ones. And it's the future, I'd say, which is great because they're cheaper.
Which moves me on to another one of the questions. Do carbon plates actually make you faster, or are they worth it for everyday runners?
Yes and no, I'd say. It's a tough one. I suppose there's no real way of proving it. For me, yes. And look, I consider myself an everyday runner. I'm not front of pack, and I'm certainly middle of the pack. So I think they do. Look, they're lighter. They have a better quality foam. They have a more pronounced rocker, so they are kind of pushing you forward. And then the carbon plate is giving it the energy return. So, like for me, they do. Even if it's psychological, you put them on, you do your warm up at a race, and then you put on your carbon shoe, and you just feel bouncier, you feel faster, you feel ready to push on. So yeah, I think they are like, and maybe not spend €300 on a pair, maybe pick them up on Vinted or try them on or something. But like they say, anything between 1 to 4% saving on your time make you faster by 1 to 4%, depending on how you respond. Some people respond much better than others, including elites. It'll just depend what suits you. I prefer kind of a more stable carbon shoe. So I like the Saucony Elite 2. While it is very bouncy and wobbly, I just find it is a bit more stable because there's a wider platform on it. Same with the New Balance SCs, I find good. But yeah, I think just find what suits it. But at the same time, no, you don't need it either. Like you can get away with an island plate, you can get away with a regular foam like the ASL, or you can just wear a pair of Brooks Ghosts, which I know plenty of people do as well. So I think it's just what suits you. But for me, yeah, they definitely give you a bit of a pep, and you just feel good putting them on, and they're bright and they're shiny, and it's a bit of fun.
Yeah, it is. And I remember when I'm hooked up with Kieran, my coach, first, he running the marathon, and he said, "Do you own a pair of carbon plates?" And I did, but I wasn't really thinking about it for the marathon. I was thinking more of a comfort one, and he was going, "They will give you the 1 to 4%. They will give you an advantage." And then he also made the point of, like you use the words, you feel good, you feel better, you feel bouncier. And all that is psychological to an extent, a psychological advantage, I should say. It's not in your head. And all those things help, and all those things give you an advantage. And if you warm up in your Brooks and you put on a pair of Adidas Pro 4s, you are feeling like you're going to run faster. Then you probably will.
And look, yeah, there is science behind it too, but it's a bit of everything. But yeah, like I'd say, but most people nearly do have them now. I think most of the people I know would have a pair of them, certainly within the club scene. Anyhow,
Yeah.
I wouldn't wear them for park run or anything like that. I just wear a bog standard pair for a park run, but certainly for a race or a training session, I would. Yeah, and they do help.
I mean, you do see people at parkrun, but they're probably going down and they're trying to get a personal best and they're going to race it, so they might put on their carbon plates for that. A little bit more of a sciencey question, or a physical, someone asked, why do my toenails go black even when I have good shoes on? And I don't think they mean their Sunday best, like.
It's fairly common in runners at this stage. I don't know anybody who doesn't have black toes. Certainly, if you're doing high mileage, I think if you're training 3, 4, 5 times a week and doing long runs, you're going to get some sort of toe issue or nail issue, whether it's black or like a couple of mine have just completely practically fallen off. I think it's a mixture of just doing high mileage. Certainly in the summer, your feet swell, so there's more friction against the shoe. I don't know, maybe toenails are too long. I think it's just a mix of everything. I think the main reason is just high mileage and certainly swelling of the feet, and it's just rubbing off the shoe and the sock.
And there probably is some people that, like, I know people still that would say their running shoe is the same size as their everyday normal shoe. that you wouldn't wear running. And I would probably feel that everyone should go at least half a size up. I don't know
Oh,
where.
100%. I always go half a size up. Like
Yeah,
my regular shoe for work is size 9. All of my running shoes are 9.5 without fail. So I 100% say you should go half a size up. And socks as well. It's important to have good socks.
yeah,
Don't just wear a cotton pair of socks. Like for me, I'll only wear a Stegan. They're really light and thin. I think they're the ones they gave out at the Cork Marathon for the
yeah,
marathon runners this year.
yeah,
You can buy them in any of the sport shops or online. They're almost kind of like a very thin kind of nylon, but they're really comfortable. And they certainly help with the friction as well for longer runs. I
yeah,
think it's laughing actually, but anytime we go for, say, the sauna or the ice bath after a long run, and we're all sitting there, we're looking down at our feet, and I think like everybody, we just compare how many black toes we have to each other. So it's it's very common. At least the girls can paint over them. We're just stuck with manky toes.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, but I suppose the thing to look at is first the only thing that you can do if you feel it isn't your socks or it isn't is definitely the shoe size, I would say. Obviously if
Go
you're
half up. And again, look, if you're having difficulty going, as I say, to the proper sports shoe shop and get fitted properly for them,
yeah.
I'd advise it.
And the frustrating thing for me is that you could be a 47 in an Adidas and a 46 and a half in a Brooks.
Yeah.
And even within styles of Brooks, I have the Brooks Ghost and I'm nearly a 48 and I'm normally a 47 or so it's difficult, but that's
You just have to try them. You have to try every shoe, Padre. That's the thing. You have to try
yeah.
every shoe in the market until you find what suits you, and that's what I'm aiming for. Every single one. I'm
So
halfway there, I think.
this is a challenging one for you. It's the last question that we have from our listeners, and thanks to everyone that sent them in. If you could only, I mean, I'll answer it if you want as well, but if you could only, in the worst case scenario, own 3 pairs of running shoes, what would they be?
I think I'd retire if I could only own 3 pairs of running shoes. For sure. What would be the point? I'd have nothing to talk about. But obviously, the Mega Blast would be my number one. I mentioned that already. Again, just does everything so comfortable, so light. Love the foam, love everything about it. So Mega Blast would be number one, without a doubt. Number two, I mentioned again my current race shoe, the Saucony Elite 2. I just love it. Comfortable. It has carbon plate, really good foam, very soft. Some people mightn't like it, it's too soft, but I love it. It just pushes you forward. You don't even have to run. It just bounces you along the road for a couple of hours. It's really good. Final one, I suppose both of them are probably fast issues. Currently, my almost go-to for easy and recovery runs is the Nike Vomero Plus. They came out, I think, last year. There's a regular Vomero and a Vomero Plus, and there's a Vomero Premium. Go for the middle one. The Plus, again, it's just a big wedge about. It's just really fun, very comfortable, very forgiving on the knees and the legs, especially after a race. So any day I'm running after a race, I'll just wear the Vomero Plus. So at the moment, they'd probably be my current favourite three in rotation. So apologies to my other 21 shoes, but they don't make the cut this week.
Yeah, and I think they changed because if you'd spoken to me 6 months ago, I probably would have said Brooks, the Hyperion Elite carbon plated running shoe. I would have said the Glycerin 21s, but as you know, I've gone Evo SL.
Adidas.
Yeah, and although the Hyperion Elite 6 is coming out and it looks lovely and it looks like it could be more suited to me. But maybe we'll talk about that on the next shoe review because it's not coming out till another couple of months. But yeah, I think if I was stuck with the same dilemma, I definitely would have my Pro 4s. It might be a clean sleep for Adidas, clean sweep for Adidas. My Pro 4s, my Hyperboost Edge, and my Evo SLs. But
I
I
think you're
do
looking
like.
for sponsorship, are you?
Yeah, well, no. Well, obviously, yes, but it'll never happen. But I do have a soft spot for Brooks, and their Glycerin 21s are a great, like, kind of everyday recovery
Yeah,
shoe.
they do seem to have come along again. I used to wear them years ago, then I stopped, but they certainly have a nice range at the moment. I might try them again, actually.
Yeah, but see, and I think that's where you need to go to a shop again because they now have the Glycerin Maxes and they have
Yeah.
Ghost Max, and it's like which is the one to I don't know which is best, but definitely when I'm looking for a kind of an easy recovery on a Monday, say after a long run, my Brooks would be nearly my go-to. So maybe I should slot that in instead of the Hyper Boost Edge. I don't know.
It's variety. Yeah, sure.
It's difficult, isn't it, just to have three?
Yeah, it's like picking your favorite child kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely don't want to go down that road. So, yeah, we're coming to the end. As always, you could talk about shoes for ages and ages, couldn't you? But
I do.
but this is a regular slot, so maybe it kind of sprung it on people this week again with questions. But we're always open to answering questions, aren't we? So if anyone
Well,
has
you
any,
sprung it on me last week as well, because I thought you were only kind of messing when you said come along again. So now you're saying it's a regular slot. We'll have to renegotiate the contract, I think, if you want me on again.
yeah, I'll have to
I did
renegotiate.
get a hat and a wristband out to be a branded middle of the pack, so we'll have to up the merch for the next round, I think.
Yeah, we're going to do socks as well at some stage. There will be Step 1 socks. But,
Excellent. Yeah, I think that'll go.
you can give them a go. But yeah. So Ian, thanks very much for coming on again.
Thanks, Patrick.
Giving us
Great.
all your
Pleasure to chat
knowledge.
to you as always. So yeah, we'll see you on the road fairly soon.
Great, thank you. Thank you to Ian for coming on and sharing all his knowledge on shoes. And it's just great to hear his story since he was on last, just all about the Paris Marathon and everything that he's got up to. But it is the shoe knowledge, the shoe passion that he is on this episode and future episodes for. If you have any questions, just email us at motpire@gmail.com at any stage, and we will answer them on the next time we do a shoe review. Next week, we're going to have Karen Toomey, and this is a new slot again. It will be talking about women's running clothes, and our feature for next week is looking at just running shorts, particularly for the summer period, and Karen will be our guest talking all about that. So look forward to that. That will be episode 48. But for this week, thanks for listening and keep on running.